Hello everyone, I'm Forrest McFreelava, and this is Speedplay, Italy and Hearts of Iron 3, number 21. We left off with the invasion of the eastern seaboard of the United States, pretty well in progress. We originally had planned to just land on some key port cities. We'd taken all of them but Philadelphia. Now we're going to secure Philadelphia, as that is really the one major port that we need, and we're generally just going to make some very large thrusts forward through the center of their country, hopefully just defeating them, or at least seizing a large amount of control and territory. Once we have all of their eastern seaboard ports, we'll hopefully not have any more issues with supply throughput, and you'll see our forces are moving forward. We're adding more planes and more ships just in Europe because we can't add them to places not connected by land to the capital. We're going to go ahead and split these two navies up in order to, I believe, get two fully formed new navies. Yes, there we go. So we have two fully formed new navies. The carrier air groups for them are back on the New World, though, so we'll ship them over and build them all up, so we send them there now, as well as some of the Air Force units, and now we just continue to press forward. So far we have been having some really great luck in the Americas, with some exceptions in Canada and a few areas, mainly Pennsylvania, or Philadelphia, my bad. Overall, though, I'm fairly confident we'll be able to drive forward and just keep moving. Here you'll see our forces are succeeding in most places, and that's really all we have to do, is as long as we're succeeding more than 50% of the time, then it doesn't matter where the Americans manage to hold out, resist, or push us back, because the general momentum of the campaign, as you can see, is still in our favor. And we're hopefully going to combine all of our fronts pretty soon into one massive consistent front. You'll see we have connected, and we're surrounding Philadelphia right now. We've cut off the northeastern part of the United States. We're cutting off these groups in the south. Hopefully that will all work out. We are kind of encircled up here in the northeast, however we have managed to fix that. And all these forces will just continue to rove through around wherever they possibly can. We've encircled more American forces. Everywhere we're doing fairly well at the worst, and just amazingly more often than not. We are kind of encircled, just again, that seems to be a fairly consistent trend, but it doesn't really matter. We're also looking at victory points, and we'll just send these armies in the Great Plains area to various victory points in the American countryside, as I don't really expect all that much in the way of resistance. They sent a lot of their forces over to Asia, which probably seems like a terrible mistake at this point. At any rate, though, we've secured control over the south. We're moving in through their interior. Up in the northeast, we're making great progress. We can go ahead and add these carrier air groups to these navies, as we had planned to do for a while now. And there we go, they're all built up. And there we go, we'll just kind of start moving all of these forces where we need to get all these aircraft on board. It is a slightly tedious process, and we don't really need our navy as much as I was expecting us to. Ultimately, though, yeah, the navy is kind of a moot point at this. As you'll see, all of our armies are deep in American territory, so naval superiority doesn't matter all that much anymore. I don't even believe they have any Atlantic coasts left, except for in the Caribbean. Our forces are just driving through pretty much without any threat. There is an American armored unit that'll probably be a problem, a few units actually in the northeast, New York State and all that. We have cut off their forces from retreating in a lot of areas, though. Not 100% though. And yeah, so it's now going to mainly be a drive across the country, just deep into the depths of the interior, and also just cleaning up what's left. We don't even have to worry at all about being trapped on the beaches. You'll see we're just pouring more troops into Canada, more troops deeper into their countryside. There is a bit of resistance here in the south. In Texas, not so much. We're piling up north. Norway, there's still some rebels. Canada has a new interim capital. And yeah, it's just a constant sledgehammer-like move deeper through their countryside. And hopefully it will all result in our victory in the nearish future. We're definitely not at very much risk, and it's just a lot of standard, basically where we were at the very end of the Soviet War, is where we're at right now, where our forces don't really need to worry about a line, don't really need to worry about encirclement. Here's the random rebel that we have to cross quite a lot of territory to get to. But we don't really have to worry too much about their forces as a legitimate threat to our armies anymore. Their forces are at most just an impediment to our inevitable victory, I would argue. Now, if they bring a lot of troops over from Asia, that could quickly change. If they bring enough troops that we can't actually supply our troops, then we'd be in a lot of trouble. It just doesn't seem very likely at this point. We're also driving our armies just even further, very rapidly. The Canadians are being pushed back. We've taken their interim capital, so they've had to move back further. We're pressing up against the Americans in, I believe, Chicago now. Their last nuclear facility is in our hands, so we don't have to worry about being nuked, and that was really the last gasp they had of damaging us. We can plow into Mexico, and just throughout, we have a rocket test facility we can take from them. The Canadians launch an attack, but we counter. We just keep driving forward throughout, and yeah, at this point, we're in Oklahoma, we're in Canada. We are just going to keep driving forward. There's very little resistance. It's really going to be a matter of just selecting where to send our armies that we can overthrow their state the quickest. There are still some issues with the Canadians, but it doesn't seem all that serious. And yeah, overall, we are... Really, America wasn't the colossus I had feared they would be. I really thought that we would get trapped on the beaches, basically what happened in Florida, only everywhere. So it was a very pleasant surprise when they just kind of broke and shattered, as they are doing right now, as is evidenced by the fact that we're in the Middle West right now, pressing into New Mexico and Arizona, into real Mexico, with 10,000 men who are our entire force to invade the Mexicans right now. And yeah, our occupation of the United States is very light on the ground, at least in the Midwest. The Americans, however, did retake Panama, so we're going to have to send some forces down to recapture that, as that is actually a key victory point of theirs, which means that it will prolong the war if we leave them there. We bring our close air support units to just start bombing them. We drop our very disorganized Marines. They are attacking our beaches in Asia. Overall, though, if we can just keep pressing forward, I think it'll be fine. And if we can manage to just retake Panama, that would be even greater. Our forces are not winning that battle, so we just drop them off. And they're about 80% ready to surrender, which is just not quite enough. Same thing with the Canadians. We'll have to take all of their victory points and ones on the Pacific coast. An American armored unit, and really just in eastern Canada, we're having some issues. Here we are in the west again. The most important thing is just, as you see, more victory points are turning our color. More of our forces are moving. We actually took San Diego, which is very significant. I didn't think we would win that. So if we retake Panama, we'll be able to ship troops into the Pacific and ship our navies over. We fail to invade Los Angeles and win there. And the rest of our forces are just moving forward throughout. If they had units still in the middle of their country, they could really ravage our supply lines. Luckily, it looks like they don't. We get new armored units, but they're in Europe. And at this point, we ship some air forces over to defend San Diego, but it doesn't look like it's enough. And sadly, we're just not quite ready to overthrow them. We send them back to Panama. Our forces keep just charging over. If we can't win in California, we can hopefully win everywhere else. We're going to pick up some armored units. This unit goes over to take Los Angeles. And we're going to send our Navy up to pick up some troops from New Orleans and ship them down to Panama. So we go, and we'll pick them up in just a moment. And the United States is very close to surrendering. We do get Panama with our Marines, so we're just going to ship those armies, pick up the Marines, ship them to Los Angeles, and use them to take San Diego and maybe some other important cities. The Canadians retook their lands because we just kind of neglected to fight them for them. So we'll go retake those areas. We do land all those forces in Los Angeles, and we'll send them to San Diego. We build a lot of flying bombs, and we attack San Francisco with our Marines. The Brazilians are landing on Panama because everyone lands on Panama. We take San Francisco and conquer the United States. So that's really nice. It basically knocks out most of the exiled governments of the Allies. We're only at war with a few random states. Apparently Communist China is in the Allies, but not in the war. And in a few moments we'll land on the new West Coast Canadian capital and retake their victory points throughout. And there we go, Canada has been conquered as well. There are now 3 states left in the Allies, 1 state left in the Comintern, Xinjiang. Communist China not at war with us, we are at war with Mexico, Brazil, and also Iceland. So at this point, we can really say that we have won. We will start a new campaign, a new series, in probably Europa Universalis 4, maybe Crusader Kings 2 on Monday, and I'll get one more video out where we just defeat the rest of these remaining powers. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.